I'd like to welcome on stage the director, Raj. Next, I'd like to invite the editor, Kalaivanan. Please come on stage. And finally, the DOP, Sai, please come on stage. Thank you so much. Please have a seat, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to request you all to put your phones on silent. Thank you. Anup, you could also kindly join us on stage. Okay. Please come. Because I think we need a bit of translation services, so it'll be great if you could also help us. Vineet? Okay, so
I'll get the MCs to do it.
So this is an exciting morning, and I'd like to firstly thank the director and his team for being with us today. Given the busy schedules they have, they've taken time out to be with us. And we are going to analyze, this is a masterclass on Amaran, how they made this biopic of Major Mukund Varadarajan, and how, they brought it to life on screen. And it ran more than 100 days in theatres, which is an unmatchable feat in this day and age, especially when it comes to cinema. So congratulations to the entire team, and I will first direct my question to the director. Raj, congratulations. One of the first things that, I think the audience and a lot of aspiring students and filmmakers here want to understand is, what should you do to make a biopic, and what are the elements you need to keep in mind? Because this is a real story about a real human being, and there are a lot of sensitivities and sensibilities involved, especially when you're making the life of a major, who was Shaheed. So just take us through that journey.
First of all, a very good morning to one and all. I still remember I was here 5-6 days after release of Amaran, the same mall. I think it's a different screen. I saw the film here with the audience. The response was overwhelming. It made us very happy, and thank you, the city of Bangalore, for hosting us today again and for giving us this welcome. And thank you, BIFF, the team, the organizers, for having not just me, my core team also here. Thank you for that, and thank you, Lata, for the introduction. Yeah. So coming to your question, I can answer from my perspective, because only that I would know. I don't know if that would help them. Maybe I'll share my experience in this particular film. I have done 2 films so far. This is my second film. Even my first film, and the film that I'm doing right now, the third one, that is going to be, it is all, I think most of the filmmakers here, they draw inspirations for films from real life events most of the times. The characters, or at least I see it that way. See, earlier those days, I think they'll look at newspaper articles, they look at events that interest them. And I used to work for a director before. I worked under director A.R. Murugadas. So he used to say there were directors in the 90s and 80s. They had an exercise where they will see television news across regions, across languages, and they'll read newspapers. In fact, all the newspapers that release every day, not just 1 or 2 dailies, and also the magazines, the weekly ones, fortnight, monthly magazines, everything, and they look for inspirations, for stories, for unique stories. I think that is an exercise by itself. So when it came to Amaran, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Am I audible now? Okay. I think so far I was clear. Okay. So I think that's a general practice. And so when it came to Amaran, it was actually a very exciting experience for me to make a film on a real life personality, a real life character, and also the larger than life appeal, which is very essential for telling a story. I mean, the heroic appeal for the character comes as it is because of the uniform and because of the legacy, the organization that is the Indian Army that it carries. So all of these come attached. So these attributes are there to make a very interesting story. So it was more exciting for me to make a film on this. And also, when I met with the people who are involved directly with Major Mukund sir, you can say 3 or 4 people, his immediate commanding officer back then, Colonel Mr. Dabasa. In fact, met him in Bangalore airport. That's the only time I've met him before the release of the film. I mean, before the shoot of the film. I met him at the Bangalore airport, and I met his wife, Mrs. Indu Rebecca Varghese, and his parents. So those meetings, after meeting them, I felt okay. This can turn out to be a very touching, impactful, and emotional experience for the audience, because that's how it was for me. And when I put it down to paper, it was getting the enhancements were more. So it was an exciting journey for me as well. Yes.
So, how long did it actually take you to write the story? Because today, I don't know if all directors are spending enough time writing a story. Your screenplay has to be so strong. That's your foundation, right? So, how much time did you spend on it?
For Amaran, it was, I think, 6 months. 6 months just for writing the screenplay draft. So there were 3 drafts. Basically, the film was also jointly produced by Sony Pictures, but they were the original producers who started the film with me. Then came Kamal Hassan sir, and then he took it on his own during the time of release. But initially, it was backed by Sony Pictures. So I had developed the film under Sony Pictures. I mean, the script. So they had a format. So we'll have to submit the first the story. So that I did in. That was for the project to get greenlit. So there's something called green lighting by the studios. So for the project to get greenlit, I submitted a story, and then I went into research, and I had to research with the actual family members and understand what is the life all about, and also from the offices a bit. Then I started writing. So for the first draft alone, it took around 4 months. Then I came up with second draft. So it was approved by the producers. And then I myself wanted to do a third draft. So put together, it took 6 months. But script writing, I think it's an evolving process. It keeps changing. But I always go back to the script. I keep that as some blueprint till the last day of the shoot. I think that is the most important aspect of filmmaking. Whether you acquire a script from a script writer or you write your scripts on your own, but I think that has to be very strong for everybody to come and give their expertise, because later you're going to have a great team together. You're going to have your DOP, you're going to have your editor, you're going to have your production designer, you're going to have your actors. All of them are going to come in, and we just have to give them their space. We'll have to extract work from them so that they give their best as well. So it is going to be a collective effort, but all of this works only on that foundation, as you said. So I think that's the most important aspect. I think that is where a film gets, the fate of the film lies there.
In the screenplay and the writing.
Yes.
You correctly said that. So, Gamya, I'd like to invite you on stage. She played Sivakarthikeyan's sister in the film in Amaran. Please welcome her. She's a Bangalore girl. So, it's exciting to have her on stage as well. You have a very young team. Kalai and Sai, who are just 30, 32. Tell us how you went about getting your team in place, because I think the crew they carry the vision forward, and they have to believe in the vision of the director, and especially in such a film where there's so much at play, right? How did you choose these young guys to be part of your team?
No, it just happened, but I was very particular that I was already prepared in my mind that I'm going to work with a very new team. new team in the sense, one film, two films old or very young, because they should be available for this film. I wanted a team that will be committed as much as me, as much as I would be. And they gave that, and they gave that promise in the very first initial meetings. Especially Sai. Sai, I had met him only once before taking him as the cinematographer. So I just shared few of the films that I love, and I said, this is how I want to do it. What do you think about these films, and what do you think about these cinematographers? I said, I think that's the only time I spoke about those films and cinematographers as well. So, and he reflected the same, and he seemed to like it. And I had not seen any of his work before, but I had few of my friends telling good things about him already. So that's all. It happened in some 10-15 minutes. Then I told the producers as well. Once I met him, I told him we'll take Sai as the cinematographer, and I think his work speaks for himself. And Kalai, he had worked with another friend of mine. He had worked with an editor called Ruben, who's my college junior in Loyola College. So he had worked as his assistant, and for my previous film, Rangoon, Ruben did the trailer cut, and he used to coordinate for that. And I had seen him few times when I had gone to meet Ruben, so that's how I know him. And he, in fact, he approached. He wished me for the announcement of the film. After Kamal Haasan sir announced the film, he wished me for it, and he said, I would like to meet you. And he came and met me, and I think in that meeting we decided, okay, you can edit the film. There was no reason for it. I just wanted a team that will be committed for the film and will not have too many things in there, and there shouldn't be any
Baggage.
other pressures as well. Yeah.